I have long supported creation of an independent truth commission to determine how intelligence was misused and how controversial and possibly illegal activities like torture were authorized within the executive branch. Until a truth commission comes into being, I encourage the appropriate committees of the House to conduct vigorous oversight of these issues. Be pleased to take any questions. Mike? No.
Regardless of the individual who told you that these techniques were being used, and regardless of the venue in which you learned of this fact, does not the foreknowledge of the use of these techniques make you complicit in their use?
No, this is a policy that has been was conceived and implemented by the Bush administration. They notified Congress that they had legal opinions saying that this was legal, but they would let us know if they were planning to use them, is what they briefed us on. I think you can see by what Mr. Panetta has sent out that it's really hard to confirm what did happen, and the committees of jurisdiction may have to look into that. But it does not make me complicit. No.
But Mr. Sheehy, you say that Mr. Sheehy did tell you, your staff did tell you.
He informed me that the briefing had taken place. We were not in a place where he could that was all that he was required to do. We're not in a setting. We weren't in the. I'm no longer the ranking member on intelligence. Yes. He just informed me, and that the letter was sent. That is the proper person to send the letter, the ranking member of the Intelligence Committee. So my statement is clear, and let me read it again. Let me read it again. I'm sorry, I have to find the page. I was informed that the Department of Justice opinions had concluded that the use of enhanced interrogations was legal. The only mention of waterboarding was that in the briefing was that it was not being employed. When my staff person, I'm sorry, I had the pages out of order. 5 months later, my staff person told me that there had been a briefing, informed me that there had been a briefing and that a letter had been sent. I was not briefed on what was in that briefing. I was just informed that the briefing had taken place. So let's get this straight. The Bush administration has conceived a policy. The CIA comes to the Congress, withholds information about the timing and the use of this subject. We later find out that it had been taking place before they even briefed us about the legal opinions and told us that they were not being used. This is a tactic, a diversionary tactic to take the spotlight off of those who conceived, developed, and implemented these policies, which all of us long opposed. My action on it was just further to say we have to change the majority in Congress. We have to win the White House so that we can change it.
He did not tell you that he was informed that they were actually using the techniques.
No, he did say that. He said that the committee chair and ranking member and appropriate staff had been briefed that these techniques were now being used. That's all I was informed, that they were being used and that a letter was sent. And that is my responsibility is different. I'm no longer the ranking member. Appropriately, the ranking member sent the letter. So let me say this, of all the briefings that I have received, at this same time they were misinforming earlier, now in September, the same time as the briefing, they were telling the American people there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq and it was an imminent threat to the United States. I, to the limit of what I could say to my caucus, told them the intelligence does not support the imminent threat that this administration is contending. So it's on the subject of what's happening in Iraq, whether it's talking about the techniques used by the intelligence community on those they are interrogating. At every step.